Guys, stop apologizing for being proud of yourself. Sometimes people that talk to me, they'll be like, oh my God, they'll be like, I'm sorry, man. I feel like I'm just talking about myself. I'm like, hey man, listen, it's okay to believe in yourself around me, buddy. Okay? You're giving me hope. When good shit happens to people, I get hopeful. Cause that's the positive about being selfish.
Welcome to FredTalk, where if you're not learning, hopefully you're laughing.
Welcome to another episode of FredTalk. I am your host, Freddie Valoy. Thank you for joining me on the free weekly episode. Today is another Dolocast. What is a Dolocast? It's just me, solo, doing my thing, covering some short shit. Max 20 minutes is what I'm keeping it at. Because, you know, the ADHD today, I'm not fighting against ADHD. I'm riding the wave. I got it. I'm on the wave. And this is a product of that. And I'm getting good response from it, too. So that's why I'm so confident right now and excited. People like the short content. They like it a little more themed. So I'll be doing that. If you want them longer, let me know. Or, want me to cover some shit, do it. I want to take this one to cover trauma bond, right? These Dolocasts, I'd like to cover just like trending words that are going on in the social media sphere. You know what I'm saying? IG-isms, if you will. Trauma bond's one of those things. Narcissism, codependency, motherfucking healing, motherfucking all that shit. And I'd probably just cover it in these like little 10 to 20 minute chunks, whatever I feel like. You know, we don't know what the moon and the stars are doing. You know, I might catch a gas pocket from Saturn and do 22 minutes. You feel me? That's the kind of dude I am. So I'm just going to cover IG-ism. So if you want me if you follow these healing accounts that you think are going too far, blah, 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 send them to me and I'll cover them on this thing. So today, trauma bond. They call me Bond. James Trauma Bond. Bro, trauma bond, when you think about it too deeply, it kind of fucks you up a little bit inside, right? Because here's the definition of a trauma bond. Trauma bonding is a psychological response to abuse. It occurs when the abused person forms an unhealthy bond with the person who abuses them, right? And just that right there, that means you're getting abused, you form a bond, you like it. It's like romantic Stockholm syndrome, right? It's like you at a fancy dinner at a restaurant, there's a dude wearing the penguin suit and you're having Wagyu beef, right? And you're laughing, haha, but the whole time your ankle's chained to the table. Ankles chained to the table. You can't leave, so you better hope that in that moment you like the steak or whatever's going on, because the moment that you want to do something different, and you will, problems will ensue. The dark part of this whole thing of trauma bonding to me is there's a part of me that feels like you just got to find somebody that's at your level of fucked up, whatever that means. This is so vague. I think this is so new for us as humans that we're researching stuff like this, relationships at this level. Side note, I get annoyed when people are like, oh, we don't have any problems today. So people are fucking this 86 genders because we're not really going through anything. Yeah, and great. I'd rather have these problems. I'd rather have 86 genders than get my fucking head cut off for following some other religion that's not the most popular religion in the region. Do 87, 82 genders. I don't give a shit. That's crazy to be like, oh, they're only doing this because we don't have real problems. A tsunami hasn't fucking taken us out. Like that come on, dude. You fucking get out of here with that fucking suburban back talk. I'm fine with these problems. They're not even really problems if you like that. They don't have anything to do with you. Trauma bond. We back. You got to find somebody at the same level of fucked up that's as you. Fucked up and patience and all that. Dude, it's just so vague. That's the scary part, is that you could be in a trauma bond and you don't even fucking know it. Anybody hyper vigilant about that shit? Anybody been in a bad relationship and all of a sudden you overcorrect? A girl pulls a chair out for you to sit and the guy's like, don't fucking be my mother. I'm not your fucking son. Don't. You're like, I just fucking folded your clothes because I saw you were busy with this, but this is obviously hitting on a deeper note. Do we need to talk? Why does trauma bonding happen? I'm going through, by the way, I'm reading this from the website Medical News Today. I haven't looked up where it started, who's funding it, whether it's Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi. I'll let you know if the information as I read it becomes weirdly political in some other way. Why does it happen? Feelings of attachment and dependence can contribute to trauma bond. Trump 2024. What the hell? Maybe this is, oh my God, I think this website is corrupt. Jesus Christ. Hold on. As a pattern of abuse and remorse. I'm with her. 2016. Who's funding this website? Now, all right. Guys, we're going to be serious. We're talking about trauma bonds. Trauma bond. Feelings of attachment and dependence can contribute to a trauma bond as a pattern of abuse and remorse. That up and down, baby. That heartbeat of violence. Right? You ever be in a bad relationship? I was in one. I'm gonna use myself as an example because I was in one, and that shit just shows you the worst parts of yourself. So if you don't know, like, ways to avoid a trauma bond is to find out like what your fucking minimum putting up with bullshitness meter is. You know what I'm talking about? After the age of like definitely by 30, you should at least have that. What's your line of shit you won't deal with? And if you're currently in something that you're dealing with, you already know what you got to do. But I know it takes time. You're afraid of the unknown. I get it. I'm not judging, I did a tweet the other day and people thought my relationship was on the rocks. It was like an escape room, but it's the one where you're in a relationship where your needs aren't being met, and you don't have the courage to break up with them because you're afraid of the unknown. Good luck. That shit hit people. But I thought it was funny. Obviously, it was a little dark because a lot of people are in unsatisfactory relationships. But it was funny. And that's why I'm here, guys. Attachment. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, sounds like they're biased. Trauma bonds are the result of an unhealthy attachment. Dependence. There's a cycle of abuse. You've been in that bad relationship where it's shitty, and then that one moment they're nice. You're like, oh my God, guys, look, this is it. You don't know them like I do. You don't know them. Last Dolocast, I was talking about it, potentially sleeping with a demon and doing the same thing I'm talking about. Where you're like, yeah, you don't know the side of her that I see. I was in so deep that I went to visit a group of dudes. It was like the older brother of a friend that I hung out with, and we were visiting him in his hometown. And he was like, yo, I heard your pussy whipped. And I was literally like, yes. And he was like, oh shit, he like admits it. And I was like, yes. That's how deep in and pathetic I was. It's like kind of gross me bringing it up right now, but that's how deep in I was. But also it's a testament to how honesty, if you know yourself and you're honest, you can't be battled. Like, he was ready to go in on me for like 5 minutes, but the fact that I was like, yeah, I'm pussy whipped, he was like, oh shit. Which he went from like fun, good time to like pity, like, oh no, this is really bad. So I'm not saying, oh, I'm the man because I was honest. It was pathetic. It was a pathetic display of mannery. Yeah. Cycle of abuse. When can trauma bonding happen? Guys, this is just to get the thoughts going. Are you in one? Do we know? Do you need to have a conversation? I'm in a trauma bond with Apple Music right now because I know that for sure Spotify Music has a better algorithm. It has better everything than Apple Music, better radio stations. Pandora still has the optimal radio station algorithm. Let me know if somebody has a better one. But I think Spotify is objectively the superior music platform, yet I'm still with Apple Music. And that's because I'm in a trauma bond with Apple Music. Apple Music's not fucking meeting my needs right now at all. They don't even do the wrap up at the end of the year. They send you a picture like this, and then they charge your account. They go, fuck you. Here's your wrap up. Give me your money. That's Apple. Spotify makes it cute. They're like, oh, you're in the top 1% of fucking the baby or whoever you listen to. So and here's the thing. Here's why. Because early on when I first got the iPhone, I bought like 3 CDs. And I spent money on CDs and music. So that's what kept me into Apple for so long. And at this point, it's just comfort. It's just comfort. It's just used to it. I know Spotify's better, yet I'm still uncomfortable with like learning how much better it could be. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Is anybody going through that with anything? I'm not even just fucking talking about relationships. Send me some inanimate objects you have a trauma bond with. Don't send me the objects. I don't want to start getting fucking dildos in the mail and shit like that. I'm talking about like, tell me what the object is. I don't think a vibrator would ever be on the trauma bond list unless, I don't know, unless you got beat over the head with vibrators as a kid, in which case you got you're out there dressing up like a vibrator and shit. I don't know, dude. Some of this shit manifests itself in very weird and different ways. But let me let you know when a trauma bond can happen. It's any situation that involves one person abusing another. Obviously, domestic abuse, right? It's not just man versus woman. This is like fucking family shit, bro. Like the only people you knew, if they're shitty to you, then your perspective on the world is gonna be fucked up. That's why, you want to grow up in a home that fucking, you got all that stuff. But if you don't recognize it and then fix it, that's what's great about all this stuff. You can train and be better at it. Child abuse is one of them. Incest, weird. Go on Pornhub. There's a lot of trauma bonds on Pornhub right now. I'll tell you that right now. Or faux incest is in right now. I mean, the algorithm, numbers don't lie. Elder abuse, that's fucking... Okay, all right, hold on. How about elder abuse? Here we go. But the person's abusing them because that when that person was young was abusing the person, and this is the person getting payback. Now, I've watched enough anime to know that, like, you don't want to keep the cycle of hatred going, so you should be the person to be like, I'm just going to cut this person out of my life. But is the person justified? If they've been abusing their elderly, whatever, because for years they were abused. You got to think about that stuff. Sometimes you got to make concessions. Exploitative employment, such as one involving people who have immigrated without documentation. I feel like they're happy to work anyway, to be honest. Unless if the pay's OD low, obviously no. But that shit is weird. What can somebody tell me the argument for not getting the businesses in trouble for making sure this person has the appropriate documentation? Like, if you got to get a social security card and all that stuff, right? Like that, whatever. And if people are not doing, there's a clear thing, which makes me feel like they don't actually want the problem solved. They just want people to fucking be upset, be angry, but also like, kidnapping or hostage taking. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry, bro. You get kidnapped and hostage, that Stockholm kicks in. That one's not as vague as the other ones. Human trafficking. I knew someone that was human trafficked, and they kind of talked about this, where it's kind of like, man, this shit is crazy. Religious extremism or cults. Guys, that also includes whether you're anti-vax or vax, the whole universal plant vax, whatever the fuck it is. You realize that religious extremism is not just like religions, the institution of religions. It's like there are church kids out there with no God, and they're scary. It's just the same shit, the judgmental shit, the fucking, the worried about the image, the appearance. The judging shit is crazy. They're looking down. High school never ends. High school never ends, guys. The classes do, but the vibe is kind of the same. There's a lot of pieces of shit out there, and you gotta make sure they're looking to bully people, and you gotta fucking. That's why I always talk about standing up for yourself. I'm sorry. I get fucking. With great power comes great responsibility. Also, I don't know if I said this on a podcast and you've heard it before, let me know so I don't repeat it again. But with great pussy comes great responsibility as well. All right. I watched Spider-Man, and there was one part where Aunt May was burning sage in the house, and immediately I knew she got bomb pussy. Because at the beginning, she had just broken up with Happy, Tony Stark's assistant. And he was all like, oh my God. The way a guy acts when some fire pussy just went out, just left his life. When he thought he was in paradise, and the next day he was not. He was somewhere completely different. No warning. Nothing like that. And with great pussy comes great responsibility. I think I did repeat that. If you hear this again and you listen, let me know if I repeated it. All right. I get to check in to see if people are actually listening, you know? What else? Human trafficking, extremism. Boom. According to the Organization for Parents Against Child Exploitation, a trauma bond develops under specific conditions. A person must perceive a real threat of danger from their abuser. Okay. All right. Experience harsh treatment with small periods of kindness. Okay. Be isolated from other people and their perspectives. Bro, that's a fucking huge one. A person that's manipulating and brainwashing someone, because we all had that friend that fucking left they met someone and their whole shit just changed, and the other person, the significant other, gets annoyed when their loved one hangs out with their friends, because I feel like 1 hour with their friends undoes like 2 weeks of brainwashing. Because then their friend's like, oh my God, I'm getting my old self back. And then you go home. Like if you have fun and then if you're going to have fun and go home and get into an argument regularly, pretty much because you have fun, that's one of the, you might be in a trauma bond. You might be in a trauma bond. Yo. Oh shit. Also believe that they cannot escape. So there you go. Here's a little something to get the brain going. Are you in a trauma bond? What inanimate objects or what systems of thinking or you could be in a trauma bond with your job right now. The money's great, but they treat you like shit. But damn, you can't get away from the money. You know what I'm saying? Tell me, if you're not in a trauma bond with a human being, start working your way down. Are you in a trauma bond with any plants? Do you bring plants into your home and kill them? Because now who's trauma bonding? See how the tables have turned? What else? Plants, inanimate objects, plastics, PVCs, anything like that, any kind of material, anything from the periodic table of elements. Are you in a trauma bond with helium? Guys, that is a FredTalk Dolocast. Subscribe, rate, and review, and share my shit. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.